Welcome again to Timeless Obsession. I'm back, missed last week, but we're here to chat about all good things that are worth chatting about. The things that I have an obsession for. One thing is life. Make life better. Ask the question, what's your passion? What's your purpose? And so forth. Just going to set up a couple things. I don't know if we're going to have any folks live. It doesn't matter because sometimes you start with nothing. It's like a metaphor. There's a story that someone told me. You want to go on a walk. You want to meet the right people. You want to go for that run, for that jog. And a smart man told me, it's like, don't worry about, asking someone to join you on your 5th run or on your 20th run. The right people will come to you. And I see it over here as well, the same way. Now, I just got to check real quick because the sound's got to be right. No, I just got to check real quick. Yeah, this is all good. I'm also, I guess, live on Instagram. This all looks pretty good. I can't see the comments or anything like that today, but doesn't matter. Here I am. Here we go. I didn't even know if I'm live over there. I guess I'm live right now on Instagram as well. Anyways, welcome again to Timeless Obsession. This is a passion project of mine. I've been kind of working on this on and off for the last, I believe, 3 years. And it means a whole lot to me. I'm not going to get into the details, why and how it kind of started. But overall, I just got a new kind of like drive with recent events that happened. And I think it's important to bring everything kind of on the table, to have as much transparency as possible. But yes, Charlie Kirk was that inspiration to have this conversation, to keep the conversation going. However, my part is not the political aspect or anything associated with that. There's many more topics, important things to talk about, where motivation, passion, purpose, drive, dedication, and so forth is ultra important to not just to chat about, but really to push. And what I mean by that is there's too many people in this world that get distracted. They get distracted by social media, by things that are absolutely not important, and they lose track of life. And what I think about that is it's sad, it's unfortunate, and it's not how it's supposed to be. The gift of life, just that sentence alone, is so, so meaningful. A lot of folks, I talk about this literally every single day. The gift of life is magic. People don't take it serious enough. We can talk about the gift of life from a newborn, where life happens, or we can talk about the gift of life where you've experienced many, many years, let's say 70, 80 years of age, and you had wonderful memories, an incredible journey. All of that is the gift of life. But a lot of people are stuck, are very, very stuck. And this is due to being overworked, alone, negligence from parents, all those things. I'm going to have chats with professionals in this field: psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists, coaches, entrepreneurs, people who have gone through various intense ups and downs in life. And as it may sound like something very vague, philosophical, or almost whimsical, I think it's important to honor the gift of life. And of course, as a active individual myself, I do believe that a healthy life is very important and should be part of it. I have a couple things that I prepared. And over the next couple of weeks, I will have these conversations live. They will come up in recordings, etc. I have a couple things prepared, but I have something prepared that I had actually posted about 10 years ago, where I wrote, "Life is a gift, one that should not be taken for granted. Fitness is a call to take your life to a higher level. You set a goal, you plan, you commit, you train hard, you stay consistent, you strive for success, you stay motivated, you share ambition, you motivate others. Repeat. To move mountains, you first have to move muscle. Nobody can buy health. You can optimize, of course, but you can buy it, just like you cannot buy time. That's why two wastes in this world that happen so often, so frequently, on a daily basis is the waste of time and the waste of health. Change your body, change your life. Never give up. It's worth it. But this is not just about health. This goes a little bit further. The philosophical part of this is that life is not guaranteed. And this is where I say life is a gift. Because there has been situations, instances in my own life, in the life of friends, acquaintances, family, that did not get to see the sunrise of tomorrow. And each sunrise is borrowed time. Every breath is a gift we did nothing to earn. To live with awareness is to refuse to drift through existence as if it were infinite. It means that recognizing that every choice matters. You're the boss of your own life. You're the CEO of your own life. You make one decision or the other. But every decision, every choice you make comes with responsibility. This is something that nowadays a lot of people seem to have less of. There's less gratitude and there's less responsibility. Now, the gym keeps this whole truth very raw. You can't fake strength, you can't buy endurance, and you can't shortcut consistency. But that lesson, like with the gym, for example, it's not confined to your treadmill or your barbells or your weight stack or anything like that. It extends over every dimension in life. You set a goal, you commit, you endure that grind. And it's the same thing as you would be building a business, raising a family, children, or simply just becoming a better human being. And I said just with a reason. Because that is what a lot of people say. Oh, I'm just getting in better shape. Oh, I'm just becoming a better human being. Forget that just. Don't belittle yourself. Lift yourself up. You've been made for greatness. So I'm going to say it again. Simply becoming a better human being. And then I said earlier in that post that I made 10 years ago, to move mountains, we have to move muscle. And again, this is not necessarily about the body. It's about effort as the price of progress. And pain is the price you pay for progress very often. Physical pain or mental pain. And that's where we have all this motivational talk, these motivational speeches. I saw some again today on Instagram. It's just a couple like, keep chasing your goals, whether you're tired, scared, broke, or alone. Keep going. Or another one, your future self is begging you not to quit today. Push through. And the last one, discipline feels heavy, but regret weighs a lifetime. Choose discipline, and so forth. Nothing shifts in the outer world without a shift in the other one. And just as no one can buy health, nobody can buy time, but also nobody can buy awareness, presence, or purpose. It's within you. You got to earn it. You got to earn it daily through attention, reflection, interest, nosiness, through action. And then, very maybe, and only with consistency, just like consistency in the gym. When you change the way that you show up physically, mentally, emotionally, you inevitably change the trajectory of your life. Your body might transform, but that's not going to be the only thing. You will too, with relationships, with work, with your ability to give and inspire. I literally deal with this, maybe not daily, but on a weekly basis. I try to lift people up, change their lives mentally and physically. And then slowly, over time, the first week, the first 2 weeks, the first month maybe is terrible. It's depression, pain, anger, frustration. But at a certain point, even with all that negative kind of built up, there's inspiration because someone else saw you do something. Maybe it's the movement you did for your age. Maybe it's the consistency of showing up. Maybe it's the change you already made physically. It doesn't matter what it is. But I do know that there's people every day, and they might not think it, believe it, or even dream it. But every person is an inspiration to someone else. And of course, we have this fake inspiration through social media at times. But again, I have to give credit where credit is due. If someone or something makes you move, change, take action, you've done well. And that is one of my goals. Of course, we always seek to reach so many people, touch so many lives. But it starts with one person at a time. So, like I said, your body might transform, but so will you and your relationships and your work and your ability to give and inspire. Never giving up is not about being stubborn or prideful. That's no. It's sometimes this we'll talk about that in a second about masculinity, toxic masculinity. I think it's a very important part nowadays. And again, this is not going to be a long chat, a long stream. I'm going to try to keep this tight. But never giving up is not about stubborn pride. It's about reverence for the gift of life itself. The struggle is proof you are alive. And when you keep going, even doesn't matter, the speed bumps, the setbacks, etc., you honor that gift. And finally, when you share ambition, you motivate others. You multiply that meaning. And again, I try not to dread so much on the negative, on the things that we shouldn't do. It's more positive when you talk about things that we maybe should do, the action we should take. Sure, we should be aware of things that might not help us, fulfill us. But when you share ambition, when you motivate others, you multiply meaning, because the highest form of success is not just achieving it for yourself, but pulling others into the light of possibility. You don't have to do it for them. It is not your responsibility to feed that spoon into someone's mouth, to do the work for someone else. No, 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 no. That sometimes gets misunderstood. But when you move, other people start believing. And that it's magical. It's absolutely magical. And success, when you just keep doing what you strongly believe in, when you do what it's simple. When you follow your heart, the rest will follow too. That cycle, awareness, effort, perseverance, inspiration, it's what gives life rhythm. It is what gives life that heartbeat. It is what makes you feel alive as a whole. I touched a subject earlier about the rise of the masculine man, for example, right? And I think a lot of folks might have seen Matthew McConaughey's recent interview recording podcast. And this is something that I definitely am a strong believer in that we need to address. First, I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to continue with a couple things to chat about. What's the difference between a nice guy and a good man? A nice guy gets along. They don't necessarily have discernment or judgment, not sure what they stand for or stand against. A good man has ideals that they stand for and they'll stand against. And when they're tested, a good man is not a nice guy. Being a good man is a lot harder for good reason. You're not going to be most popular. Not going to be always most affable. It also doesn't mean you got to be a dick. So this means sometimes you got to go, I believe in this is for me, and that is not for me. And because that is not for me, if you do trespass into my space upon me and my family, I will do my best to cause consequences. And I'm going to let you know that. I hope that's apparent. Because I'm not going to intrude on you, but if you trespass that, I'm going to stand up for it. And that we can talk our way out of that, great. And it doesn't always work that way. And a good man's not looking for trouble. But if it comes, and if he or something he cares about most was susceptible being trespassed on by trouble, good man does what he can to do to stop that. Find it very, very good little recording. It's snippets from a podcast that he did recently. And Matthew McConaughey has definitely gone through the ups and downs in life, and he chose a different path at a certain point in his acting career. Awesome guy, but he stood up for himself because people were labeling him and pushing him to go into a particular direction that he did not believe in. So he was a kind man, but he wasn't necessarily a nice guy in that time because he said, I'm not going to continue this way. He was just standing up for himself. And that is something that gets very misconstrued nowadays and judged, very, very judged. It's called almost just standing up for yourself or for someone else, toxic masculinity. Now, I'm a believer that doesn't even exist. There's just masculinity and femininity. Now, I think there is something that we should call the rise of the masculine man. And again, what he kind of explained over there is something that every guy should listen to, if not on a weekly basis, at least on a monthly basis, and strive to live by some of those guidelines. But the first part is that masculinity is not a threat. That's what a lot of folks don't understand. Weakness is a threat. We're told to be tame our masculinity. We need to suppress it. We almost need to, or we should, that's what we're being told, is to apologize for it. But men that step fully into their strength with honor, discipline, responsibility are the ones who hold the line in families, but not only families, in business and also in society. And this is nothing against women. This is just how men I believe, will function best when they stand up for something for themselves and when they are honorable, lead with discipline and with responsibility. But the problem is that we have an obsession, a culture obsessed with comfort that kills resilience. The anti masculine narrative shames strength instead of cultivating it. And too many men live only for the paycheck. That is what I believe as well. And it's not an insult. I understand that you need to obviously make the dollar, right? You got to make money. I understand. Absolutely. Everyone should, right? But too many men live only for the paycheck, but there's no passion, there's no fire, and there's no deeper connection nor direction. Because what is a life? What is a life? If you trade your days for dollars, but never feel alive, I would never be able to do that. And I do have discussions, conversations with other, within my own family, with friends, acquaintances, business associates. I lead with passion. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I don't like, that I don't enjoy, that I don't have some kind of like heat for. And that is something I believe over the last years, many years, has been kind of pushed out. So, what I hope for guys, for men to bring back their passion, their masculinity, is passion over the paycheck. A man without passion is just existing. Passion is your engine, paycheck is only your fuel. A paycheck pays the bills, but passion will build your legacy. And a good man, a strong man, a masculine man, he uses both. But he will never let money replace meaning. And then we have a part that is more controversial apparently nowadays. And before everyone gets their panties up in a bunch, this has nothing to do with religion. I call it faith, faith in the good. But you don't need a church or temple to find purpose. You don't need a preacher to remind you. Purpose is here. Purpose is within. It's forged. It's forged within you, within your fire of your responsibilities. And of course, these are the traditional things: providing for your family, building something that outlasts you. And this is one of the biggest conversations I have. And I sometimes get into it with people. I asked them, I was like, why would you not want to have a wife or a partner, spouse? I talk with men or women alike about this topic. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that would be fun. Okay, cool. But then what about the next generation, kids, etc.? Don't you want to leave a legacy behind? Don't you want to build something, a family, a business, et cetera, et cetera? And I'm not saying that this is easy. Absolutely not. It's difficult. It's extremely difficult, especially in a world that we live in today. It's very challenging. But challenges are worth it. Build something that outlasts you. It is so worth it. Absolutely. And becoming a man, I think this is one of the biggest points. I love it. This is the gift of life. A friend of mine, by the way, had recently contacted me, and I was ecstatic for him when he said, hey, you're going to be an uncle. I'm already an uncle. I'm a godfather. And it's just one of the most beautiful things in life. But here, with this now, becoming a man that your son wants to imitate and your daughter feels safe beside, epic. There is nothing really greater. What, you want to be a CEO to some firm? Just make money, have millions or billions without anything else? It's empty. It's great probably for a while, but it's empty. It's just like all the materialistic things that you buy and then kind of neglect after a week or two or three. It's about the experiences. I believe travel is top notch. And travel with family is, in my opinion, for myself, the pinnacle of life. Purpose is not always mystical. Sometimes it is practical, but it's always vital. Now, the question is, what makes a good man? Just ask yourself, is it strength? Yes, but strength without compassion is tyranny. Is it compassion? Yes, but strength without compassion is weakness. Is it wealth? No, because wealth without wisdom is emptiness. A good man is balance, strong, steady, capable, just like Matt McConaughey said, standing up, grounded, giving, and true to his word, an honorable man. So, the call to men, what we need is, or what we need more of in this world, is that we don't need men who hide, but we need men who build, not only consume. You're a weak man if you only consume. I'm sorry, you won't have lasting relationships. It won't happen. I've seen it happen time after time after time. And the same is always true. Yes, you will have probably controversial situations or conversations, but we've gotten to this point, thousands and thousands of years of humanity, and somehow the traditional family has outlasted everything else. So why would that suddenly change? We don't need men who numb themselves. I'm not going to get into by what. I think you can make up a very proper imagination. But we need men with fire, that burning desire, with a purpose. And this is not some philosophical, oh, my purpose in life. It's like, no, be a dude. I got to do this. I have responsibilities. That is my purpose. It's a little bit more simple than that, than just opening up a candle and, praying to nothing or having a little bit of a sound bed. I believe in all of that. This is not to disrespect it. But the difference between my purpose, no, 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 no. Get straight with it. Your purpose in life is to provide, to protect, to honor, and lead. We don't need less masculinity. We need more. We need better men. We need men that are more balanced, like I said already before, who channel their passion, they embrace their duty, their purpose, and they set a standard. This is the biggest thing. No one has standards anymore. You give a handshake, handshake is worthless. My handshake is worth everything. You set the standard for what it means to live fully. A lot of people are lost. They don't know what it means to live fully. And this, to sum it all up, timeless obsession. This is the timeless obsession mindset. It's a journey. It's not, hey, I get there and boom, that's it. Arrival. No. Masculinity is not arrival. It's a pursuit. It's like the pursuit of happiness, right? What people talk about. It's a journey. It's like success. Success is not a destination. It's a timeless obsession. There's no start, there's no end. You just go. If you let passion be the compass, it won't just be a paycheck. It will be more meaningful. If you choose responsibility when excuses are easier, that is the timeless obsession mindset. And then you ask the big, big question. And I can tell you one thing, that many, many guys won't be able to answer this. They will get intimidated, or they won't know how to answer it because it goes deep. But you ask yourself daily, am I becoming the man was meant to be? Let that sink in for a minute. I know the answer for some guys that I coach. And this is a very difficult question because, like I said earlier, there's no start, no end point. It's the pursuit, it's the journey, it's ongoing. So, last but absolutely not least, you want an answer to the question, what makes a good man? It's not the title, it's not the money, nor the applause. That's all fairy dust. Matt McConaughey in a movie. It's the fire inside. It's the passion to rise, the courage to carry hardship, burdens, responsibilities, and everything associated with that. And probably the most important, the timeless obsession to never settle. I'm Dean Barlage. You've watched Timeless Obsession. See you next week.